trial attorney Byron Browne. Byron, when you have a client like this who, I mean, he has paid Dick DeGarrett millions over the years, who's a fantastic lawyer. They take him into custody in New Orleans, and he doesn't think to call his lawyer. He sits there for hours and talks about everything, including this letter. This is a problem, isn't it? And this is going to come back to haunt him in this trial that is about to restart.
It is, but it also may help him. And this is what I mean by that is, you know, that video is 6 years ago. That investigator was questioning him and questioning him and questioning him and questioning him relentlessly, trying to get him to admit that these notes, one of them or both of them, I guess, were written by him. And I feel like he was of the mental fortitude to stick up to that questioning, and he didn't relent, he didn't give in, and he stuck up for himself. Now, I'm not saying he's innocent by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that is evidence of his faculties. And this is what I mean by hurt him is it's going to show that back then, and 6 years ago, he was of a good mental mind, that he was able to withstand that questioning. At least I think even that would evidence that he could stand trial. Now, how does he appear? He appears in some videos I've seen much more frail, much more of somebody who might not be able to take the stand. So I think the defense, Robert Durst's defense team, could use that video to show just that. But you're right, it strikes both ways, that video. Now you got a video of Durst seemingly trying to worm his way out of those particular questions, deferring to his lawyer, answering some at some point, and then not answering the most poignant questions about the handwriting. I believe that is evidence of his guilt. If he was innocent, then I think that he would have some sort of explanation. He definitely seems like somebody, the fact that he testified in one of his prior trials, seems like somebody who likes this attention. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me that he doesn't call his lawyer in that circumstance, because I believe he believes that he's smarter than the average fox out there, and he likes that attention. Yes, it's negative attention, but it might be the only attention Robert Durst gets at this late stage of his life.
He's a bit of a wingnut, there's no doubt about it. He wanted to testify, and he was successful when he was testifying, when he was facing murder charges. After he dismembered Morris Black, he was able to convince the jury that he did it in self-defense after killing Black. So when you have a client like that and you're thinking, well, gee, I don't know if you should testify, how do you, I guess, guide them in the right direction? It is their decision.
You're right, 100%. It is their decision. I always say this, as a lawyer, I'm paid for advice given, not taken. Meaning I would sit down with Mr. Durst and I would lay out the pros and the cons. Here are the pros of you testifying. I think the jury probably wants to hear you speak, so they're going to be eager to hear you speak. That, right now, I feel like is the only pro. That, and maybe people assume maybe he's innocent if he's willing to take the stand. But the cons far outweigh the pros. I don't believe that even back in 2015, yeah, he seems mentally stable then, but he still isn't someone I would want taking the stand. Any good lawyer worth his or her grain of salt is going to be able to make someone like Robert Durst, who likes the attention, who's been in this forever, meaning been in the soup, in these situations, and has made so many statements. Any good lawyer should be able to take those past statements mixed with some of his current statements and make him out to be a very uncredible person. And if you're Robert Durst's defense team, that's obviously the last thing that you want. So you leave it in Durst's hands, but you say, look, this is the last thing I think that you need. I think our chances of obtaining a defense verdict, even if we have them, they are slim to none if you take the stand. And I think that would be the point, at least if Durst, again, is of his right faculties, that he will not take the stand in this case.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. It was promised to this jury by the defense that he would take the stand. We'll have to see what transpires coming up. Susan Berman once considered Robert Durst her